Okay, everyone, welcome to the midweek market wrap up. Thank you very much for all of the kind words and attention that I had on the market minute. That is my new idea, is on days that are not the end of the week or the middle of the week. I'm going to do a market minute, do more in the blog post, less in the video. So the video is less than a minute long. Blog post going to have more information. To make sure you have access to that blog post, go to StatsEdgeTrading.com, put in your email there for free. I don't sell the email or anything like that. So what we're going to do on Wednesdays and what we're going to do on the weekend is these more longer term looks at the markets. We're halfway through the week or at the end of the week, so you have a little bit more data to play with as opposed to doing it every day. But again, every day will be those nice short videos. So without further ado, let's pop into it here and let's get started with Bitcoin. What do I say? Right, we're in a range. I feel like a broken record. Been doing this, live on YouTube free for years now, and it just seems like Bitcoin goes from these ranges and then explodes one way or the other. So I've always got stop limits in place. Last short I took was when it came down under this zone. When we popped down here, took a little bit off the table, stopped out on the rest. There's been a lot of that recently, but I'm okay with that because eventually I'm going to get that position. As long as I can break even, do okay during those time frames, then everything will be fine in the long run. Eventually it's going to go some way, but really to me I'm not going to get aggressively long until we're over this 31,000. I'm not going to get aggressively short until we're under 25,000, and in the meantime, if I'm going to play, I'm just going to look for a little base break and take a few bucks on it and kind of move on with my life. So you'll see me look over here, and that's just, again, because I always have notes of what I want to go over. Aussie CAD again was something that I haven't looked at for a while, or really ever seriously, but was brought to me by a client or a follower who's just been talking about, how they like to trade and all that kind of stuff. And he talks about Aussie CAD, which is interesting because Australian dollars and Canadian dollars are both petrocurrencies, so they trade with oil. Now, the crosspair is going to kind of remove a lot of that oil thing, right? So interesting. I like the fact that we undercut this low back here, which is also this low back here, and then rallied up big. So we sold off with a big green candle or big red candle, and then we rallied with a big green candle, and then we pulled back. So I did enter some of this already on a shorter term time frame, but I'm looking to add more on a shorter term time frame just to see if this is a bear trap. My old friend Brian Shannon says, from failed moves come fast moves. So if we have a big failed move and now we're going to have a fast move, right? Great. I want to be on the side of that fast move if and when it's going to occur. Now, we got some stuff going on with the dollars. We got some stuff going on with the yen. So the dollar, I'm always look at euro dollar with this, right? We can do the Dixie. We can do the UUP. It's going to be the same kind of a thing. But we have the Dixie here up, and I talked about this in the weekend video. It's up like 12 weeks in a row now. Put in what could be considered a evening star pattern right here, where you have push up, you have a star or a doji, basically something with a big topping tail, a candle that shows either reversal or indecision, then you have a red candle down. If that closes like that, then you have a morning or an evening star pattern after this big rally. Last one I see on the chart is actually right here, and you can see big push up, and then little doji indecision candle, and then a push down the next day, and that led to 3 days or so of a pull down. So maybe, here's I guess another one right there that didn't work out, but maybe we are entering a near-term top. I'm not saying it's going to be the top of the euro or anything, but if we can pull back kind of into the low of this candle in this range right here, that would be healthy for the dollar to finally chill out for 2 seconds. So that might mean buying the euro. So I've got my eyes on here. I've been dead wrong as this thing's been pulling back. I've been waiting and waiting for bounce points. Hasn't come across anything really. A couple short-term trades here or there to see if I can get a reversal. Nothing yet, but I am seriously looking now because, again, if you take that chart of the Dixie and you flip it, the Dixie's like 70% of the euro anyway. So you have this kind of reversal pattern that could be happening at an area roughly of support and a little bit of an overstretched zone under this VWAP. Again, just too far, too fast. the more you'll hear me talk, you won't hear me talk about revision to the mean trades much. I just think the dollar has gone absolutely insane. And at some point, there has to be a little bit of a snapback rally. Again, I'm never calling tops or bottoms, but if we can snap back into kind of 106.8, 106.9 area up here, I think that'd be healthy. That's a pretty big move for the currency, so I'm looking to get involved in some of that. Now, if we go to dollar yen, the Japanese bank, somewhat, some people are saying that, it's not them, blah blah, whatever, intervened, maybe really starting to care about their currency. They're worried that the yen has just been absolutely murdered for a very, very long time, and they want to intervene in some way. The last time they did that was right here. Right, this is where they started to do this funniness, and this fall happened. So maybe we had this nice cup breakout. I was talking about this area right here for a long time. Broke out, really, really wicked trend. Maybe we're coming near the end of that trend. So if you look at on, say, a 4-hour chart, you can see a push down and then a sideways consolidation. So I am watching dollar yen. If this thing continues to break, I definitely want to be short under these levels, see if we can pull in here at some point. Right. So that's what I'm looking at there. Now, without further ado, let's get away from currencies and let's get into stocks. So quickly, something I'm loving as opposed to the other chart I showed is this chart right here that we have from Trade Ideas now on the web version. You can go to tradeaideas.com. You can actually try this for free. When you like it, use StatsEdge for 15% off at checkout. But this just gives me a quick overview. I'll shrink it a little bit because my face is in the way. It gives me a quick overview of what's up or down on the day. We have bonds up and we have stocks up. So it seems like that whole stock bond relationship is just gone. Because we have bonds up, we got stocks up. So from now, what we need to do is we need to kind of say, okay, what else is going on in the market and how is this going to affect things? Just change my portrait a bit here to get out of the way. But how is this going to affect things? So we have energy pulling back, and we have XLY, which is consumer discretionary, and then XLK, which is technologies, moving up. So we seem to be having this push away from energy and safe things, utilities, this kind of stuff, and then a push into more risky assets. So if that's going to be the case, we're gonna follow that for sure. So take a look at the S&P 500. This is something that I've been watching here for a while. This 420 area, we talked about this on yesterday's video. Again, if you missed the market minutes, make sure when you go to my channel, you're checking out the shorts part of it as well. I'm doing the shorts, again, anything that's not Wednesday and Saturday. Again, just trying to get that content out and I think it's, when I don't have a lot to talk about, I think it's a good way to push that out there. That's also mailed by the email list. So if you want to make sure you don't miss anything, again, go to StatsEdgeTrading.com or just Google Michael Nauss on Substack and you'll be able to find that as well. But we also have the 200-day moving average in here that you can't see on this chart, but it's there, I promise. And then the year-to-date anchored VWAP all existing on this zone right here. And we have a little bit of a bounce. We closed right here. So that's technically a Harami pattern, which I think means pregnant woman. But generally speaking, another reversal candlestick pattern. I don't think it's going to be that easy. So here's kind of a rant I guess I can do. When a market is at a very obvious level that a whole bunch of people are watching, it's rarely clean one way or the other. Certainly can be. Anything can happen. I'm wrong all the time. You guys see this if you watch the videos. But when everyone's watching an area, there's going to be a lot more short selling above it, buying below it, doing all this crazy stuff around it. So I wouldn't be shocked if we get a little bit of chop. We got non-farm payrolls on Friday. That might be a big deal. Yes, could we bounce from here? For sure. Would that be unusual? Not really, because it's a prior area of resistance that acts as support, and those things are pretty common. Would I bet on it? Absolutely not. And that's only because of the fact that it would be too clean, right? So again, I am more position long. I covered shorts getting into that 420. So I am mostly long in my portfolio. I got stopped out of most of my shorts today. So I'm more position longs, and I've got a whole bunch of things that we'll go over in a second, or stocks that I'm looking at. So if it works that way, it works that way, right? That'd be great. So we have XLE breaking down here. This was holding on quite nicely, but then we had a nice breakdown candle today. So XLE is definitely moving lower. And again, XLK is looking like we could be pushing up here. So into technology and into bonds, or into technology, into bonds, out of energy, just this rotation happening. And there's nothing wrong with that. Rotation is the lifeblood of a bull market. We're going to have to see it. So yesterday's video and blog post was about this SCS. It was about the market and this SES. I actually took some of this today right on the close. The idea is the anchored VWAP is sitting somewhere like this, and it's just putting in this nice looking bull flag. I bought a little bit as we closed over this day's high. Worst case stop is going to be right down here. Just trying to see if we get a push to new highs off of something like that. Now, on top of that, we've got a couple new ones that we've added, but actually a lot of these are old ones that I'm re-adding just because they end up looking good. So we have RELY, and RELY, the anchored VWAP from right before this low, is just right in this area. So we actually got a buy off here that we got out half of the position and then stopped out break even. And then we have this two bottoming tails at this area. So if we can get back over 25, I like the look of this one if we can push higher on that name. And then we have VNT, which is another one that I was watching. It's just interesting to see. I'm getting a lot of these because I think the market has been choppy for a long time. I've been getting a lot of these from anchored VWAP pullback scanners. And it's funny to see the same names recurring over and over again. And I'm generally one where it's kind of rare for me to take multiple trades on the same name, but they keep coming up and these anchored VWAPs just keep working. So I'm going to keep trading them. Now, VNT, we just have call it a rising wedge, a symmetrical triangle, whatever buzzword or whatever you want to use for it. Basically just getting really, really tight here. Really strong in the weekly. So down here is the weekly chart. You can see went from $20 up to 30. So it's a 50% gain. And now it's just getting choppy and tight and choppy and tight and choppy and tight. And at some point, that choppiness has to explode in one direction or another. And lastly, what I'm going to talk about today, as always, as always, if you want my full watch list where you can just copy and paste it and trade ideas, make sure you go to StatsEdgeTrading.com. Right? It's a lot of cool stuff there for you. We're doing a lot of stuff with our Back to Basics series, which will be awesome as well very soon. So a lot of reasons to go hang out there. Free trading course just to get you started if you're really, really new in your trading journey. So CBay, big area here, around 14 bucks, give or take. Just watching to see if we're going to pull back. This has been just a monster from, I think, 2 bucks to 14, pretty much in a straight line. Had a couple good trades on it this year already. Just trying to see if I can go back to the well. Prior resistance acting as support. If we can get a bounce from that to or through that high, that will be a really good risk reward trade, considering, I'll be wrong if I'm out under this lows right here. Okay, guys, so I hope you like the new format of the longer videos, couple days a week, the shorter videos, couple days a week. As always, comment, let me know what you think, and I will adjust accordingly. Thanks, everyone, for the likes and the retweets and the thumbs up and all that stuff. It really helps the algo pick up what I'm doing. Talk to you guys soon.